Sometimes we need to extract content from a string. And for that, we have a function called substr or substring. Now, this function has two parameters. They're both size type values, which are numbers. Now, as you can see, both these functions have a default value, so they're optional. So if we call this function without any arguments, we get a copy of this string, which we can store in a variable like copy. Now, these are two independent copies. So if we set the name to an empty string, this is not going to affect our copy. So if we print it, we're going to see Mosh Hamedani, okay? Now, if we call this function and pass an argument, that is going to be our starting position. So we can go to the position of 5 and extract the rest of the string into this copy. So let's remove this line. We don't really need it. Now, when we run the program, we see my last name, okay? Now, if we supply the second argument here, we can specify the number of characters to extract. So if we pass 3, we'll get ham, okay? Now, here's a little exercise for you. Assume that we have a variable that contains someone's full name, then write code to extract the first and last names. It's super easy. You should knock it out in a couple of minutes. All right, here's the solution. First, we're going to declare a string called first name. Now, to extract the first name, first we have to find the position of the white space, and then we're going to extract all the characters from the beginning up to that position. So we're going to call name.substring. Our starting position is 0, and for the second argument, which represents the number of characters to extract, we're going to call name.find and pass a white space character like this, okay? Now, before going any further, let's print the first name on the terminal. Now, I would like to wrap this in parentheses so we can clearly see if we accidentally included this white space in the first name or not, okay? Let's run the program. All right, here's the first name, beautiful. Now, for the last name, again, we need to know the position of the white space. So wouldn't that be better if we extracted this logic and stored the result in a separate variable? So let's do that. We're going to declare an integer called index and set it to name.find the white space. Now, you know that the find function or find method returns a value of type size t. So if that value is really large, meaning larger than an integer can handle, we're going to lose precision here. So it would be better to use size t, or we can use the auto keyword and let the compiler infer the type of this variable, okay? So here we have the index, and then we can pass that as the second argument, okay? Now we're going to do something similar to get the last name, but this time we're going to start from the index and extract everything up to the end of the string. So now this time, let's print the last name. All right, look, we accidentally included a white space in the last name. So to solve that, we're going to add 1 to the index. So we start from the next character, which is H. Now let's run the program again. Beautiful. Okay, so our program is working, but you know that some people have middle names. So if I had a middle name like Smith, let's see if our program would still work. Now the last name is Smith Hamedani, which is not correct. So instead of looking for the first occurrence of a white space, we should look for the last occurrence of a white space. So instead of find, we're going to use rfind. Now let's run again. So last name is Hamedani, and let's make sure that we extract the first name correctly as well. Okay, that is better.